I'll never forget showing up to a customer storage unit and they're like, oh, from 2006? Wow. Like,
that, wasn't creating revenue before, but at least we get both moves. We got the move in and the move out. So we make sure that we do that, and that mailbox money from the ones that we do get every month. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. We've got people that have been in our storage unit. I think I saw a tag from 12 the other day. So they've been in our storage 13 years.
welcome back to Movified. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Salmon's Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, and Ellis Moving and Storage, also located in Vancouver. And we are here for part 3, Movified Wednesdays with Stephen Reed, referrals.com. What's up, buddy? Big League Movers out in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis.
And let's not forget on deck deliveries as well too, because we're talking about warehousing, we're talking about logistics. We don't want to forget about Stephen's logistics side of things and his deliveries, because that is also a huge revenue for warehousing and to keep your trucks rolling. But
that's
with
right.
us again,
on deck.
I said on
baseball.
deck.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teaching you. I know baseball's not a big thing. Yeah.
For months, it was Big League Movers and Ready Rolls. And now he goes, can we just throw in this on deck deliveries as well too? Just throwing me like right off. Throws me right
before
off.
we welcome to Movified.
Yeah, welcome. Wow, listen, we got Josh Shipman here with Coastal Carrier out in Wilmington, North Carolina. And it's exciting to have you back again, Josh.
Oh. We almost mixed up the Carolinas.
What, it was a South Carolina?
This is a part 3 episode, guys.
No, it's still North Carolina. We do have a branch in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, also, and in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Greenville, North Carolina. So you can just say the Carolinas. The Carolinas here in the Americas.
In the Americas, yeah. Hey, listen, does anybody know where like Prince George is? Exactly. Yes. Where?
It's in Canada.
Oh my God. Where? What province?
All the way to the left. Is that I don't know. I don't know that.
Exactly. So
I
you want
to help you with that one.
So come at me about North Carolina and South Carolina.
It's all on the left, though, right?
It's all on the left. I was trying to be
it's in your region, correct?
Straight up from me. Yes. I was trying to make it easy for you. All right. Good work, Josh. Good work. We have this.
It wasn't that good.
Was this good? Look,
I should have woken up my 4-year-old to ask her. She probably knows more about geography right now than I do.
Telling you, Olive is a smarty pants, all right? She knows her geography.
Yes.
We've really hit hard on, ways to optimize the warehouse. What is the expectations from your warehouse manager to, the dispatch, to sales, of how to be super efficient when putting stuff into your warehouse? We kind of want to go through the process of here. Josh, I want you to kind of take us through right from the beginning. Customer order, the customer's order hits the system, assigns the crew. Like, can you give me the outline of someone that is moving into storage from start? If it's move day and they're coming into storage, what does that look like?
Sure. But I can't start there. It starts with the sale. It starts with the expectation. It starts with making sure that we are properly preparing the customer, letting them know what all the costs
Setting
are,
expectations,
letting them know what the process is. And on all of our estimates that are coming into storage, we have to let them know that we're putting full value on it, that there's going to be no break in custody. So valuation, it's an upsell on every single move that we have coming into storage. The clientele that we deal with likes to have that added security on all of their moves, because we're dealing with furniture that's very expensive. So everything is set up. Dispatch gets the estimate. They're looking through it to make sure that let's say it's coming into our storage. Do we have valuation on there? Do we know how long it's going to be in storage? Has the customer been made aware of the approximate cost of their move into storage? based on the number of hours it's going to take at the house and in the storage, putting it into the vaults. Does the customer know what the cost per month is going to be? One thing that we do is we do our billing at the first of every month. So a great point to to capture the sale. We're going to give you the first 2 weeks for free, and we're going to start billing on the first of the month. Um, we try to, if it's going to be under 30 days or under 2 months, we're trying to capture both of the moves. Sometimes those people are a little bit more price conscious, and we will give them the storage in order to gain both of the moves. Just because you can charge for money doesn't mean that the customer is going to bite.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Let's dive into that sale on that. Let's do that. That's so how do you prospect a customer for storage from the get-go? So when you're identifying as a different sale lane, does it go to a different condition in your system, I guess, when you find out this customer is in between, or you have your estimators really look for that?
Yeah, we don't differentiate anything when we disperse the leads. The guys will find out what the logistics of the move are going to be. We are still operating in a very personable manner. I would say 80 to 90% of our moves we do in-home estimates. So we're going in there, we're sitting down, we're finding out the details, we're finding out everything that's going on. Sometimes the person, our biggest goal when the phone rings is to just capture the lead and pass it on to the salesperson so they can start their process as quick as possible. We need name, address, phone number. Can we come by tomorrow? We're trying to keep it real cut and dry and get somebody in there to talk to them face to face, because in this day and age, it just seems to become more impersonal. You can probably book a move without ever talking to somebody. I don't want to walk into that 5,000 square foot house that nobody's looked at. That scares me. Now, I know people do it all the time and they're successful, so more power to you. I just haven't experienced that, so I still get a lot of anxiety from something like that. You had a question, Stephen?
Yeah, what percent of revenue do you attribute to storage over there at Coastal?
I would have to dive deeper. That's one thing that I've been trying to do. You were harping on that. Where were we? I guess it was in Tampa. If you don't know your numbers, that's the number one thing. Like, you beat that into my head. I don't know if you knew, but you were talking to me. You were talking to the whole audience, but you really spoke to me. Like, if you don't know your numbers, that's the number one thing you need to do. So diving more into the analytics on it, it would be difficult for me to say. Storage overall, year over year, we probably do, I guess you're at about 700,000 to $1 million in storage revenue created each year, and then you have auxiliary with the moves that happen also. So it'd be difficult to rate it without doing a deeper dive into all of the exactly which moves were associated with it. So I wish I could answer that for you.
It's
But
amazing,
once
though.
again,
Yeah,
know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. And I'm sorry, Stephen, I don't know my numbers. I'm trying to get better.
as we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out before Tampa. That'll be a
Yes,
goal on
sir.
that side. I'll help you figure it out.
Before we ever started using a moving CRM, someone asked me, could you 10x what you're doing right now with the current systems and processes you have in place? And I said no. And so he was like, well, then you need to just pull the trigger on the software. And then I saw Smart Moving, and it was game over.
Austin joined thousands of moving owners on Smart Moving in 2021. Since then, he's more than doubled his business.
And I always compare Smart Moving to Apple products. It's just so simple, so easy to use, and that's really what's allowed my team to scale and now have 2 branches. And last year we scaled Central Coast Moving over 50% growth.
If you're ready to turn your moving company into a machine that drives profit, not chaos, try Smart Moving.
If you're considering Snowball, just do it.
SNOBALL creates done-for-you referral programs for moving companies so you can turn happy customers into new revenue without lifting a finger. And the results speak for themselves.
In less than a year, we've collected over 2,000 referrals.
We generated over $200,000 of revenue that cost about $5,000 to do it.
I believe we have 4 or 5 the very first day.
The companies winning with SNOBALL are the ones that already care about their customers. We just help turn that into new business through human outreach and customer nurturing.
SNOBALL is part of the arsenal of tools that I recommend to my clients because it works.
That's right. Well, I'll help you figure it out. So the deadlines, if you're not there, I'll help you figure it out. I know the formula there, but it's amazing what you're doing, and that's why I'm so interested, because that's the bar. To me, if I figure out that bar, I can tell my team that's what we need to strive for. That's excellence in this market, and I know you have that. So when you're doing the sale process, you do a lot of detail. So you hit that sale, right? If the customer has a need for storage, you're hitting it, and from there, one thing that we don't ask that's silly beforehand, we figured out on the move in or operations, but it was interesting to me that you find out how long so you can project. Do you enter that in the smart moving, or where are you keeping that up with? In the notes? Is that kind of a template?
You know, our best salesman has the biggest opportunity with detailed notes. It's such a funny thing because he is such an incredible salesman. I would put him up against anybody with his notes. They're getting much better, but we got a couple of guys. Our guy up in Raleigh, his notes are immaculate. I think notes is one of the most underutilized aspects of smart moving. Your companies might be doing it. So if I'm saying that and I offend you and you're doing a great job, send me some screenshots. I'd love to see what you're doing because I'm always looking for ways to improve. Yeah, yeah. But we have some guys that do an incredible job. They detail out everything. I remember when I was in sales, I used to write emails with the estimates that I'd send them. And if there was a dog in the house, I'd say, man, it sure was great meeting you, your husband, and Fluffy the dog today. And I tell you what, they ate it up. And I put that in the notes. You know, that was something that I always kept track of. So we try to find out how long somebody's going to be in storage. We try to put transparency on all the pricing. We don't put the entire price tag of the move when we send the estimate, what your initial cost is going to be. And then we put all the costs for move out, for the storage per month. We don't add it up. We don't say, hey, you're going to be paying $19,000. You know, we say, hey, you're going to be paying $630 a month for storage for these items. You know, and as I said, we try to prorate, we try to do whatever we can to sweeten the deal. One of the things that has become very competitive is self-storage. If you're anything like our area, they have built a self-storage unit and a car wash on every single corner. So yes, yes. And their rates, I remember when you couldn't get a storage unit during the hurricane, during COVID, and now they're giving away first 2 months free. So we have to be competitive with that. So sometimes we have to give away a month free, but we always think about, you know, so we have an empty space sitting there. You know, we are not at full capacity. If we are not at full capacity, it's stupid to lose a sale over storage when it doesn't cost us a single thing to put it in there. You know, we've got the hours associated, the labor, everything is taken care of, just that empty space that, you know, wasn't creating revenue before, but at least we get both moves. We got the move in and the move out. So we make sure that we do that. You know, and that mailbox money from the ones that we do get every month, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. We've got people that have been in our storage unit. I think I saw a tag from 12 the other day. So they've been in our storage 13 years.
We get that a lot too. I had an email from a customer that says, you know, we've been clients since 2015, and there's sometimes I go in the warehouse, and it's just like you're like, oh,
Do you still need it?
from 2006? Wow, like I'll
Yeah.
never forget showing
Now,
up to a customer storage unit, and they were moving. They had a self storage. They had two 10 by 20 lockers. They are moving like 6 hours away throughout BC. And I went to go do that, and they opened up the lockers, and I saw this stuff. And I said, when was the last time you really went through this? And they said, oh, like 3-4 years ago. And I said, and now you want to take all of this and bring it up like for the cost. I'm like, I have no problem quoting you on this, but you really should go through this, because I bet you're going to find a lot of stuff that you don't want. And the fact that you've been paying storage for years upon years on junk that you really don't need. So yeah, it's crazy.
Certainly.
That's the thing too. What you put on that mailbox money is, that's what all of us super movers in all of our communities, we get awards and things. We've done a part of these shows in the local communities where we're standing up there with software companies, and we're standing up there with surgeons, and we don't fit in. There's one of us per home services a year. They're like, look at this guy go. He's working his heart out. Right. And it's because that's what we don't have, guys. We do have it in our industry, but the people like software companies, the return of investment, the bukus of money is in the subscription, and this is moving subscription. It really is. This is a way to retain that customer from month to month to month to month on that side. So that's a really, really good key point. How do you sell valuation?
Valuation, we just put it on every single job coming into storage. We try to upsell it on everything. Some people would like it. Some people, well, don't you guys do a good job? That's one of the first questions they'll ask. And,
Yeah, yeah.
accidents happen, things happen, and we want to be able to stand behind, the quality that we are giving. So, a customer that values us as a company, it's not a hard upsell on valuation. I've heard some people say that they put it on every move and they wait for the customer to say no, they don't want it. So that's something we haven't done full all the way across the board, but we have done it on storage. It's just one of those things that we're going to put on there. So we do the valuation 9 times out of 10. It's a single charge. We let it carry all the way through to the move out. We feel strongly about it. We don't want the customer to feel like they're getting nickeled and dimed on the estimate when they get it. And then the second part of that, you have your valuation, then you have to prep your guys. Do you have somebody that can write a clear inventory on the crew going to pick this up, bringing it back? Did they get the stickers? Did they have the proper inventory sheets? There's 2 different types of inventory sheets. You can put one for full valuation in there that's going house to house, which is a lot different from a storage inbound sheet. So you have to make sure the right paperwork is there. For our guys, they don't do real good with surprises. They like to know what's going on. We have done a great job in finding out a lot of information. So they're used to walking into a job and exactly as it is portrayed on the estimate, that's what's going to happen. They know about bulky items. They know about gun safes. They know about pianos. They have the equipment. They got the puddle jumpers. They got the big red gun safe. They've got everything laid out. So if we forget a step of that in operations, I mean, we put them in a tizzy. And that's not something you want to do to your movers as they're out there on a 10 to 15,000 pound move doing an inventory trying to please, a customer that's moving out of a house that's been in that house 20 years and they're not happy about moving, and sometimes the movers catch the brunt of that. So everything that we can do to make sure they're prepared for that and have all the equipment. And we've done our job on prepping the customer for what they're going to do. Well, why is it taking so long? Well, we have to inspect all the furniture. We have to make sure we get stickers on everything. We want to make sure everything's prepped up. Oh, you can just take that out. Don't worry about that. If something gets scratched, I'm not going to file a claim. And we've all heard that one. And that's, don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Act as if every single piece that you are moving is full value protection and treat it like it's your mom's. That's what we try to tell our guys. So making sure that that's prepared.
I was just going to say, now that we've got the starting points from the sales to the guys in the home, creating the inventory list, making sure everything's all tagged, written down, marked, packed by owner, packed by the client, or packed by us, and they've noted any kind of riders so that, hey, this has been damaged, or pointing out to the customer prior to it going into storage. I want to jump into the lightning round, Josh. It's time for Dolly Dash. Steven,
Let's go.
you
I'm
got
ready.
the list. I know that we hit the first question on the last episode. We talked about what's the perfect ceiling height.
I can adjust. I got so many for Josh. I can adjust on this.
All right, Josh, you get 1 minute to answer each question. Let's keep it tight.
Okay.
And Steven, go for it.
All right. What's the number one thing that slows down receiving in most warehouses?
What's the number one thing that slows down? Lack of personnel being present. If you don't have your people there to receive, to make sure, and then, logistically, inspection. Inspection can cause a bottleneck. If you're receiving items and they need to be inspected, if you let those stack up, if you don't have the proper personnel in there to be able to pull those out, inspect them, take the pictures, do everything, I think those 2 things can really bottleneck up receiving.
When it comes to security, cameras, access control, or staff training, which is most critical, and why did you learn that the hard way? Or how did you learn that the hard way? So you got cameras, access control, or staff training.
I think cameras and access control kind of go hand in hand, because you don't need the cameras watching something that they don't have access to. So if you're granting access to any of your personnel, you need to make sure that they're vested in the company. You need to make sure that you've done your checks on them, and then be able to watch them. You know, holding people accountable. When you've got 15 movers that come in every single morning, it's always him. It's never me. It's always him. He did it. He did. Well, who's he? Oh, I don't know. He was wearing a red shirt. Well, we all wear red shirts. Come on, guy, help me out here. So having those cameras, you know, as recently as the cameras on our lots, we unfortunately over our Christmas break had one of our tractors stolen. So, you know, watching the cameras, getting identification on the vehicle, turning that over to the detectives was crucial.
Hey everyone, Matty Mailers here, the guy who pioneered handwritten letters for the moving industry. Why? Because my competition at my moving company was using the same stock postcards as me, and my mailing company didn't care. So I created a better way. Here's some mind-blowing results in July. Miracle Movers Utah closed $93,000 using our handwritten letter strategy. With our campaigns, you can forget about the guessing games. You get a trackable phone number, daily photo proof, an incredible design team, and I'm also included. All letters stop at me for approval before they ever leave our facility. Right now, Movified listeners get 1,000 golden tickets stuffed in our genuine handwritten letters completely free. Plus, I'm going to throw in bulk realtor data for up to 5 counties. What are you waiting for? Moving Letters AI. Stop competing, start dominating.
Being found on the second page of Google is literally like having a billboard in the middle of the desert. Your mama ain't gonna see it. No one's gonna see it. You're on the second page of Google, no one's gonna call, no one's gonna book. Here is the deal. If your business is not ranking on the top of Google, that means your competitors are going to be stealing your customers every single day. So at Rotate Digital, we don't play any guessing games. We use data-driven SEO strategies to make sure Google finds you first so that these Google searches turn into your customers, not your competitors' customers. How do we do it? We do it through AI-driven keyword optimization, exclusive blog networks, backlinking strategies, and honestly, the secret stuff, the proprietary lead attribution software. So what do you get as a result? You get not only good marketing, but now you get clarity into what is bringing you more revenue. So if that's something you want to do, you want to make sure your leads find you and not your competition, go ahead and go to rotatedigital.com, schedule a call, and we'll help you take your business to the top of Google.
How often should warehouse layout be reevaluated?
Take your time the first time. You know, when you start to get bogged down and things look messy, figure out if that's your fault or the layout's fault. Are you not cleaning up behind yourself? One of my biggest pet peeves is not finishing the task that you're doing. The guys will get the trucks ready in the morning and they'll bring everything off the truck in the bay and they'll put the floor runners down, they'll put the dollies down, they'll put the boxes of tape, the shrink, and then they'll go get new stuff and then they'll pull the truck off. And it's like, well, why didn't you put up that stuff while you had it in your hand? You know, finishing a task all the way through when you're putting up your vaults for a storage inbound, everything has a tag on it. You know, make sure all your clips are all the way around your vault, on the bottom, on the top, on the sides. I've got to count. I don't see 10 clips right there, you know, so the guys know what I'm looking for every single time.
What's your rack and vault storage buying strategy?
I think when we moved, there was no strategy because it was during a high demand time. You couldn't get vaults. You couldn't get them. You had to buy new racking. We moved into a beautiful facility and we made the investment. We made the investment with 2 electric forklifts. We made the investments with nice racking. You know, we painted out all our lanes for everything, for pallets, for the crates, for everything. So we just, you know, when you are able to, if you're moving into a new warehouse, if you have the revenue that will allow you to, set it up the first time. You know, I am lucky enough that I can do it in my mind and think about it and space it. Buy you one of those little laser shooters that the construction guys use all the time. That'll be your biggest help in these big, huge warehouses on lining stuff up and figuring out. I'm telling you, it'll make all the difference in the world. But you know, I can't even imagine what AI can do now. You know, there's locators and crates that can tell you exactly where a sofa is. So I don't know, spend the time.
Josh, out of all the guys in the Let's Go Boys, who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite in the Let's Go Boys? It depends on the day of the week, brother. I mean, we all have our moments. You know, I no, but I'll address this. You know, each one of the Let's Go Boys has their own identity. And when I went out to Austin's wedding, I shot out there. Man, it was beautiful hanging out with you and your family. And you've got a beautiful little daughter that is very close to the age of my daughter. And that was just an incredible thing. Nicole and I went to a They really do. And Nicole and I went out to a Andy Elliott conference and we got to spend some time. We shared a place together. Yeah. And you know, we really had a good time. We went out to eat at this seafood place and we were laughing and cutting it up. Um, Playing golf with Austin and his wife. I think we were in Phoenix. That was just a beautiful thing. That was incredible. And Matt, you know, Asheville, that was his jam right there, you know, and I got to spend time with him and his wife at Austin's wedding also. But in Asheville, he was the outgoing person that was like, "Hey, you should come play golf with us." And then when Jason and I went out to Phoenix, he's like, "Man, we're playing TPC," and I'm like, "Oh, dang, let's go, big dog, come on now." So like, I don't know. I love all you guys, dude. But hanging out with Steven and daggone, he's like I don't know, six man on the bench for the Let's Go Boys. I don't know. What do you want to be?
100%. I'll take cheerleader. I mean, a cheerleader for Let's Go. I mean, you got to have a lot of hype to be a cheerleader for the Let's
Yeah,
Go.
hype man, hype man. You don't need to be a cheerleader. You're a hype man.
There we
You
go.
know, we were in Kid
Oh,
Rock's bar
man, it's so much
on
fun.
whatever that street was, and you know, had a ball there. So I don't know. I love
It
I
was
love
really
all
good
you
spending some
guys.
time with you. I will share that. It was good. It was good. Learned a lot, thought deeply about life and business and goals, and I had a good time doing that.
We got 2 more questions for you before we wrap it up
Okay,
on this third
okay.
episode because I know time is becoming limited.
And we squeezed all we could out of Josh. As soon as we got him,
I feel
we
like
were
we've
like, all right, hit
done.
it.
We've
We're
run
gonna
out of
record.
shirt.
We need to learn.
Now, once the guys have come back to the dock, who's handling the unload and placement? Like, is that your warehouse crew? Is that the same movers? Is it both? And I'll give you an example. Like at Salmon's, a lot of the times, depending on what time they get back, they will offload and our warehouse crew will load up the storage vaults, which I always have a big tivy with because I'm like, no. You guys should be the ones
It's one
loading
way
it
or
in
the other,
because
everybody.
it's hard to comply on that. So what do you do, Josh?
Depends on what time they're coming in. CJ, our warehouse manager, before the guys even leave the house, we've called him up. How many crates are you going to need? We've got the crate stage. We've got the doors off if we need to. We've called in extra help if it's going to be 4 o'clock and we need that truck the next morning. Sometimes it's 6, 7, 8 o'clock and we need the truck the next morning and we call everybody to come in early. I have been known to jump on the truck and help unload it. I think my record for unloading a full truck with 4 guys putting it into the vaults was 44 minutes. So we can get it done. We can get it done, and I have no problem jumping in there and helping them out.
How much are you an hour?
The guy,
We got an application
Yeah.
over here as a white
You
glove
wanna know.
delivery pro at that speed.
you know, so supporting your team, you guys do it. You guys do it every single day. You know what I mean? Supporting your team. I can't ask them to work late, and I'm not willing to also. So jumping in as it's needed. We're prepared when they're coming in. And if we don't have that truck going out the next day, man, take this other truck, go out, and we'll unload it while they're off at a job. You know, we'll get the office staff, we'll get the warehouse guys, I'll jump in. I know what to wear every day. I know if I'm wearing a collar or a work shirt, you know, and I'll work in my collar if I need to, you know. So the guys, they try to push me away, but I sure do love having my end of the sofa and looking them in the eye and telling them to hold a few seconds longer. You know, I get a kick out of that, showing that I can still do it too.
We recently hired Ready Rolls to help us with hiring some offshore help, some VAs, and they've done an amazing job. You know, they found the perfect candidate for our company. Not only that, they helped answer the questions that we had about the process. You know, initially, hiring a VA can be a bit intimidating, but they answered all the questions. It's been an amazing experience. Our VA has been a huge part of our success thus far. We're actually in the process of hiring a few more right now. Definitely see them doing a key part of our growth and reaching our goals in 2025. And the game changer for our company, I'm confident to be a game changer.
Visit ReadyRolls.com. There is now a better way to scale.
When we talk about the crates, this is a final question before we wrap it up, unless Steven has one final one after. Digging into this, like the storage vaults or the crates, how are you labeling them? And what's your system for placement in the warehouse? I know we kind of talked about this before about the setup in Smart Moving. I know they have a great setup for making sure that everything's numbered. You can number it, you can know where the rows are, what height level they are at, or if they're the second or third level. But are you using numbers, letters? What's the correlation? Are you using both?
Rows are alphabetized. You got row A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We've got 36 or 33 crates per row, 3 high, going deep. So it's A 1 through 33, 1 through 36, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way up to, I think we've got EE or FF. So we go into double letters, but letters for the row, coinciding with numbers for the crates in that row.
I like that.
And I don't know, I see this all the time, and somebody tell me, please tell me. I see everybody loading out of the small side. Like the 5 foot wide side, we take the 7 foot side off and put it in there. But I see a lot of people doing you do 7 foot?
I do the side. Yeah, 7 foot on the side. On the
Okay,
wide side.
yeah. So I've seen a lot of people do the 5 foot side, and if you can tell me why you think that's better, I'd love to hear it. I haven't tried it yet, but I'd love to hear why.
I think it's just kind of how you start, maybe. I don't know. I just hadn't seen it. You kind of lose some space.
Yeah, I feel, it's a little deep. It's tough to get stuff in there. And if you've only tried the 5 foot side, try the 7 foot side one time. See what happens. See if you like it more. I don't know.
A little more space to deal with.
Try anything once.
That's right. That's how we got here. That's how you want to know. That's it. In a nutshell, you want to know how we figured out warehousing? We tried it and then tried it another again. We moved stuff and we put it on the other side and then put it back.
Exactly.
Well, I got one more thing, and it's just I wanted to tap out, and you hear kind of the relationship Josh and I have, the relationship Mark and I have, the relationship the Let's Go Boys. That's what's important. That's what, we're the Movified Nation Tour, if you will. It's like, it is. It's like, it's everywhere you meet and you hear all of us, every guest on Movified they've gotten to this point in their business and really accelerated when they got out of their shell. They took a scared flight down to meet a bunch of people that, guess what, ended up just like them, right? And wanting to help them. And then you jump in the fire and say, I want to help you. And it's contagious. And we're going to the Titans, the Let's Go Boys golf tournament. Sign up. Just be a part of the energy. I'm heading to the Texas Movers Association the following week. If you're in Texas, get your ass out of bed or warehouse, either one, and come see me, right? Let's talk about it. I'm going to New Jersey. I'm excited about it. Never been up there. Going to Atlantic City and talking to the New Jersey. The week after that, going to the New Jersey Movers Association. And then, Josh, I don't know if you're coming, but I know Mark and I are going to Built to Move with Tim Krupp's place in Cleveland at the beginning of October. And so get out there. Yeah, that'd be great. Get up there, and Josh is there to talk to you. I'm there to talk to you. Mark said, don't be a stranger. There's nothing to be scared of. Come out there, and it really did change all of our life. So I want to just kind of push that. And then, of course, push readyrolls.com. Get your life back. If you think, how the hell are these guys getting to conventions and being able to talk business and work on their business? It's because of readyrolls.com. All right, Mark, you gave me an opening. You said I could last segment.
For by the time this episode comes out, everybody should be basically just approaching and showing up at the
So I hope it brings the energy.
Moving Titan event. And you know what? We're gonna we'll have the podcast set up. We really want everybody to stop by and say hi. We got some great swag that's going to be there. We have some QR codes we'd love for you to scan, because It is literally, as Steven said, it the Movified Nation Tour. This is the big kickoff, right? This is the answer to a
You can
lot
get your
of movers'
Josh Mark
questions.
glasses at our booth. Come get your Josh and Mark. It's the Movified Nation Tour. We're shaving heads.
Giving out free haircuts.
And doing Y'all see where mine's going, guys. I might be right here next year. It'll be the triple threat.
Look, make sure that you're subscribing. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Josh, this was complete gold. We really appreciate you for walking
it is.
through
Thank you.
the dock to vault.
Thank you for having
systems,
me.
Giving all the listeners the real playbook. I really hope everybody that was listening and watching was jotting down notes and trying to now sit back, look at what they have. If they have a warehouse, how they systemize it. And you know what, Steven, if they're not systemizing it, they can with readyrolls.com/Movified. Get the back-end support that you need. It does start with VAs. It starts with EAs, and you can have this where if you don't have that one person that's can check off everything or at least keep your warehouse organized, have someone pass it off to a VA and they can do it for you.
It's the answer we all have. You'll hear us saying it left and right at the conference.
And until next time, everybody, stay Movified. Thank you.